A trio of very young and very musical brothers called Hanson erupted out of Oklahoma.
It's the kind of thing that you always hope for, and it's the kind of thing you're going for, but there's no guarantee it's gonna happen.
We got Hanson stopping by later on. I remember hearing MMMBop for the first time and being like, this is a song that was made in a lab to be the biggest hit in the history of the world.
Yes.
You can hear the
I am
screaming
aware
girls.
of the Hanson phenomenon, yeah.
Mercury Records turned us down 3 times before they actually signed us.
They're so hot, Hanson, and I was here since 7 a.m. this morning.
We were just a little bit different.
What does MMMBop mean anyway?
Yeah, I mean,
It means,
you know, these kids.
So either it's so different that it can't possibly succeed, or it's so different that it has to succeed.
Ready to roll? You guys cool?
I don't want to roll, I prefer sitting.
Let's start at the beginning.
When did you first realize you wanted to be musicians?
When we were born, it happened.
The part of the story that is still very much an important piece of the puzzle, which is when I was in first grade, my dad took a job going to Latin America for a year to work as an accountant. This is like a very isolating situation. But on that trip, we had compilations that were from the late 50s rock and roll. And so we basically had one thing to listen to that wasn't Spanish, and it was Chuck Berry, Aretha Franklin. You had all of the famous, iconic pop tracks from that year. So that music began to kind of get into our DNA.
In the early 90s, Hanson's peers in America were just getting onto hip hop in a huge way. Acts like Beastie Boys, Dr. Dre, Notorious B.I.G. Thank God they didn't have top 40 radio to listen to, because then they would probably be trying to make somebody else's idea of a hit record rather than their idea of a hit record based on what they had been raised on, which is not what the rest of the world was listening to. That is how you get something totally fresh.
Our parents just instilled a level of self-confidence in us early on that it was just okay to just be yourself.
By the time we came back from South America, what we had culturally was this rock and roll music. We start off singing harmony, and we started talking about wanting to play instruments and be able to really write among, the family friends. And all of a sudden there was a piano waiting in the driveway. A family friend had gone and bought it at a local shop and said, well, here you go.
We played piano for a long time, classically. Isaac then went to a pawn shop, got an electric guitar. Zach got some old drums, and we just went for it. A week after Zach got the drums, we played for the first time with our instruments. So we basically just jumped in.
Yeah, we really jumped into it, yeah.
It was a borrowed drum set from a friend of a friend. Someone taught me one drum beat, and I played that drum beat enough that a week later, I could play that drum beat on every song. I didn't actually realize when you're left-handed, you set the drums up backwards. So for the first several months of playing drums, I was playing right-handed, not knowing I was playing it backwards, really honestly struggling with a lot of things. Like, this is so much harder than it should be.
And how'd you pick who would play what?
Zach has a philosophy with that one.
Let's hear Zach.
No. His philosophy is Ike's arms were long enough to play the guitar, so he got the guitar. And Zach, and I could play the piano better than Zach could at the time because Zach was younger, so I got the piano, and he had the drums. And he works better on the drums because it's our shield from him because he's crazy.
Are you crazy? You are a little crazy, aren't you?
I'm a little bit weird.
The first moment that we as a group looked out at what we were doing and thought, whoa, this is something special, is we did a performance at an extremely conservative church. I probably would have been 10, and we got a standing ovation. The rock and roll was spilling out, and we were singing a gospel song that we wrote. We walked off that stage, and Isaac and I were old enough to kind of be fired up about it, and he looked at our mom at the time and said, we need to make a record. The next day, she would go, hey, I looked up this place, there's a studio, and it costs this much an hour. Do you think you could make an album in an hour? And we didn't know we couldn't, so we went and we did.
Your parents love this, right?
Oh, they were completely behind it.
Yeah.
They've been, I mean, we did 2 independent records, and it's not like we were gonna, you know, do it with our lawn mowing money. So,
Our mom is a firecracker. There is no rule that should not be broken. There is no opportunity too impossible. When we needed to make a record, she found out how to do it. We would not have been able to do what we've done in our lives as adults, much less as kids, were it not for them and their willingness to embrace a dream that their kids had.
Your parents sacrificed so much for your guys' career.
That's kind of a rare quality. I don't actually talk about that very much. Yeah, people don't normally ask that question.
I'm Isaac. I'm 11.
I'm Taylor. I'm 9. I'm Zachary. I'm 6.
And we're the Hanson Bros. And we like to sing.
Our process was kind of interesting. We went down to South by Southwest thinking that we would meet somebody that would become a manager or a label would sign us, and none of that happened.
I'll bet you that people saw Hanson at South by Southwest and were like, these guys are really talented, but I don't know what to do with them. The mid-90s was a really strange time for music because the alternative thing was sort of fading away. The sound was very post-Nirvana. There was music like Beck that has stood the test of time. The sound of the late 90s was boy bands and girl groups and young pop stars and like really shiny pop confections. And right in the middle of that, with kind of the sound of the radio just before and the look of video just after, was Hanson.
MMMBop started as a background part when we were making our record Boomerang. And it did sit around for a couple years.
We're like, oh, that's too complicated. Can't put that in there. It's too hooky. It's like, it's walking all over the song. But that's really catchy, though.
MMMBop became a song at the moment where you have this incredibly hooky chorus, which you can't get rid of in your own head, and you have a story. And when you put those two things together, you have the foundation of a good pop song. We learned that from people that wrote better songs than we've ever written.
When Taylor came and said, hey, what do you think about finishing this song? It was like, oh, we finally get to sing this? It's not just the thing you sing in the shower. It's actually a song we're gonna sing on stage. It was kind of like, yeah, that's a great idea.
I absolutely had a feeling that day that there was something really special. Suddenly, the inspiration of the song, which was kind of in here, became the actual song.
MMMBop is really about friendships. The first verse says, you have so many relationships in this life, only 1 or 2 will last. You go through all the pain and strife, then you turn your back and they're gone so fast. And that's really what it
That's the point of the song.
It's deeper than it really sounds.
Yeah.
At the time, us choosing to do music as our career and us really taking it on at such a young age, we kind of felt like we were having to choose and in some cases being slightly rejected by friends who really didn't get it. So that's really what the song was kind of about.
The thing about MMMBop is obviously it's a made-up word. It means a frame of time, but it also intentionally kind of is lighthearted, I think, in a way that disguises some of the meaning. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to hear a young person singing like, most things in life are gonna pass. Most of the things you're going through won't matter. Most of your friends are gonna leave you or be gone. Because in an MMMBop, it's all gonna be over, you know?
Mercury Records turned us down 3 times before they actually signed us. But Steve Greenberg saw something because there wasn't anyone speaking from a youthful perspective. It's rare to have a label that does sort of see the moment and say, hey, no, this is going to be successful.
I was introduced to them by Steve Greenberg over at Mercury Records. When we got the demo, it was like one of those ones when you receive it as a record producer, you go, there's pretty much very little chance of me screwing this up.
The 2 producers, Stephen Lironi and the Dust Brothers, I think they really just added like a flavor to us. Our music has its certain sound, and they added the little twist that made it more unique, and I think that's important. A lot of times that's what the producer does.
The Dust Brothers set a tempo and a drum loop to go with it, so it was quite a sort of technical process to go through.
Stephen was the glue, and he really produced the whole record and assembled the pieces that caused the song to be what it was.
Speaking of MMMBop.
Yes. Speaking of MMMBop, the song actually started out kind of slow, kind of more like this. And the song started to speed up. And it ended up like this.
When we finished the record, there was a strong feeling that this was the calm before the storm.
Here we go. We're gonna kick some butt.
All right, guys, and this is just for the sound check.
Please welcome from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Hanson.
You guys got so many girls out there, it's nuts.
So when you guys go out, you get like mobbed, right? Oh boy.
Yeah. You're gonna spend a week.
I need help.
Yeah, you're all excited for Hanson, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
To have heard it was to know that you were witnessing pop music history. But then to have seen it was like, oh, the culture's in trouble. Like, here comes Hanson. They're going to be around for a while.
All of a sudden, here we are in year one, and you're in Indonesia, and then you're in Melbourne, and then you're in Sydney, and then you're in Rio, and then you're in London, and they're all singing this song that we had written a year and a half before, sitting in our living room. Frankly, it's beyond words.
Those early visits from Hanson were before the boy bands really dominated, but it was a taste of what was to come. They were the young boys that were the object of millions of young girls' affection and attention, and they screamed. You could hear it throughout the building, and anytime they came by, you knew traffic was going to be a problem in Times Square. Hanson was really the first to bring that energy to the studio, and it was memorable. Right now, we're going to check in with Mandy Moore, who's in our Midtown studio, with the brothers Hanson, who are getting ready for their at MTV Week special. Mandy, what's going on in there?
Nothing much, thank you so much, Dave. That's right, I'm here, chatting with Hanson.
The next three extraordinary young gentlemen are nominated this year for Record of the Year, Best New Artist, Best Pop Performance by a Duo or a Group. Let's just welcome them, the gentlemen of MMMBop, Hanson.
Yeah, go over to the window there.
Go to the window.
Make them scream. Say hi! See, the funny thing
now
is...
they're on TV. They're all excited.
Hello!
Hanson is rehearsing for their performance of MMMBop. They're going to be playing at the Grammys Wednesday night.
Absolutely, getting the Grammy nominations was a huge, huge deal, and still is. The most important one for us was the songwriting one. That was really the biggest wow.
From them hitting the scene in the spring of 1997 to them being nominated for Record of the Year was just a few months. And this is at a time when the Grammys was at its most out of touch with the culture. Pop usually doesn't get a whole lot of respect at the Grammys, but that is how undeniable and beautiful and perfect MMMBop was. It was like, it didn't matter, it transcended. You could not deny it.
If you win the Grammy Award, with which you're nominated in 3 categories, and you're the critics' favorite right now of walking away with at least one tonight, how is that going to change you?
We can't expect too much.
Yeah. If we walk away with one, that'll just be icing on the cake.
When you guys first came out, you were like the target of many jokes and on the internet,
Yeah.
and now it's kind of turning around.
I remember when MMMBop was out going, man, nobody gets us. Nobody gets this.
We had them on TRL for like an hour, maybe 2. And it was difficult to get them to sit down and focus. Zach was antsy and full of energy, and I remember thinking what's his deal? Oh, he's a child. I think adults see kids making pop music and a wall goes up. And it's maybe embarrassing to admit that you like it or whatever. That doesn't mean that they aren't also really good songwriters and really good musicians.
It's really hard when you're 12 years old and everyone wants to analyze everything you think and everything you like and everything you do. I found myself a lot just sort of going, man, I have just got to make fun of someone or make someone laugh or do something different, because it kind of gets boring and you just kind of take the piss out of people.
I think it's really hard when you have your first record and it's so enormous and you're that age, it's hard not to be perceived as brats.
I'd like to say hello to my fiance.
Look at my mouth.
Zach's actually been married 3 times.
This guy can't stay married.
Hey, you may want to blow your nose.
I'm with rock stars.
They're like styrofoam stars.
Come here, Zachy.
Are you saying you think we're chicks?
Yeah, I was a psycho.
You guys ready to rock? I said, are you ready to rock? Let's rock.
When I reflect on now how incredibly rare it was and the experience, I still get goosebumps.
When I look back at what our life has been in the beginning of our career, where all of a sudden you're in New York City or in Paris or wherever for the first time, I am blown away that it actually happened.
I think MMMBop has that timeless quality that it could have come out in 1969 and been a sensation. It could come out this afternoon and be a sensation. It's great songwriting, it's great production.
So much of what makes a hit song is not always what makes a good song. I mean, sometimes a good song is a hit, and sometimes really terrible songs are hits. The fact that it was so different was a huge benefit.
When something has that big an impact, it's never following a trend. The only trend it's following is that it's good.
It probably is a contributing factor to the success of MMMBop all over the world, that the chorus has no English words in it. It's that primal, these bop, ba-doo-ba-dop. Anyone can do it. It's just no one had done it. You write thousands of songs, but you never know what's going to connect with people. And then MMMBop was kind of at a level that's unbelievable. It was #1 in 27 countries at the same time. That doesn't happen to anybody.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, we did it. You know, like, we're good songwriters, see?
One of the things that I know is true for us is that song was ours, continues to be something that was authentic. That's really what has allowed it to not be a pariah for us. It's not something we've ever run from, it's something that we've lifted up.
One of the things for me that is so cool about songs like MMMBop is that the lyric was right. Hold on to the ones that really care, because in the end, they'll be the only ones there. The people in the audience are those people, and they know it, and we know it.
Dear Isaac, Taylor, and Zach, I suppose it is hard to put into words exactly how much your music has meant to us. The very first time we heard MMMBop, we weren't quite sure what to make of it, but we knew it was something special. During a time of Pearl Jam and Nirvana came this song, but it wasn't just some pop song, and you guys weren't just some pop band. Thank you for making such wonderful music, and thank you for making so many people happy.
Thank you, guys.